So for everyone's benefit, when people graduate from our program, we have distinctions, merits, and graduation. And Shershah was our star in the last cohort. And we predicted he'd have success, and he walked out and he went out and he raised $100,000, just like that. So tell us your story, your experience, and I'll hand it over to Saima.
Yeah. So what better way to close this conversation rather than talking to our LUMS student-led, LUMS graduate-led startups at NICL. And I've invited today two of our star startups, as Saleem mentioned. So Shershah has already been introduced by Saleem in the conversation. Shershah is from SDSP, graduate in accounting and finance. So Shershah, the question that I would like to ask you before we go on to later conversations is, coming from a management school, why did you apply to NICL, and how did you think that did it top up the information and the knowledge that you already have to become who you are today? And then I have a follow-up question on that.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, Mrs. Neem. I think yes, I love this video, and thank you, Ms. Simon, so much for inviting me here today. So, why I chose NICL, I just recently graduated. So, our story goes something like this. KalPay came about from our final year project at a fintech course. So, LUMS is the birthplace of KalPay. And, as soon as I graduated, I felt like NICL was the key stepping stone or the key foundation for us in order to get access to the ecosystem. Because even after spending 4 years at LUMS, which I believe is full of learning, and all of us are amongst the luckiest ones in Pakistan, there still is a requirement, or there still is a need for us to be able to be well connected with the ecosystem, with key players, to have mentors, and that's where NICL helped us the most. The program, it's super well curated, and the credit goes to you guys, and especially you, Ms. Saima. The faculty, people like Mr. Nanzai, people like Dr. Shahid, great experienced leaders and professionals helping us throughout. So for us, NICL was the first place. That's where we thought we learned the most. We'll get ideas from our peers, from our mentors, and it exactly helped us with the way we thought it would.
So Shershah, I'm going to ask you to answer a question that was asked by a student earlier. And that question is about timing. And I think you're the best person to answer that question. Should they think about becoming an entrepreneur, or this entrepreneurial journey? Should it start during the student time, or should they wait to graduate and then think whether they want to take the corporate path or this? So I think you're a perfect person to answer that question.
Yeah, so I think from what I've learned, there is no right age and time to build your startup. Whether you're still studying or whether you've graduated, don't become an entrepreneur just for the sake of it. I know it sounds good by calling yourself a co-founder or a founder. You see news all around, someone raised 10 million. And the markets are doing really well. The ecosystem is growing a lot, massively in Pakistan. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. So don't do it just for the sake of it. But as far as age and timing is concerned, there's no right time. I think if you genuinely believe in a problem, and don't believe in a problem just for the sake of it, if you genuinely believe there is a gap in the market, there is a need, and you can solve that through your idea, there's a big enough market, and you think you have the right capabilities, and your team has the right capabilities to solve the problem, that's it. That's all you need. You start off with your MVP, get initial traction, build a good team. Your co-founders, they should add value to your team, to your idea, and just roll it out. It's as simple as that. So if you're 18, if you're 21, if you're 23, I think the later it is, the more difficult it gets, because when you're getting like 200,000-300,000 rupees every month as your salary, I think it gets a bit difficult to leave that. My salary, it's just a comparison. So my driver at home probably earns more than me. So that's the salary I take away. But that's not the point when you're at an early stage startup.
Okay. Thank you, Shershah. Join the conversation later while I've had a bit of conversation with Maydda. So Maydda, warm welcome to you, as well as Kasif says, you're the superwoman of NICL. And Maydda is a graduate of MPhil Education Leadership at Management at the School of Education at LUMS. And Maydda has converted her thesis project into 2 startups, one in the EdTech area and another in life sciences. So Maydda, I'm going to ask you another question that was asked in the chat box about how to prioritize life, especially if you're a woman. You have 2 children. I understand that also. So is it a weight game, or do you think one could juggle all these roles in life?
Thank you so much, Saima, for such a kind introduction. It's a very interesting question, and honestly, there's no like subscription to it. There's no prescription to it that I could give to anyone. Obviously, as you said, I have 2 kids. I studied from SOE LUMS, but then I have a very strong support system. I have really supportive parents. I had really supportive instructors. I have a really supportive boss. So the system around you, the ecosystem around you, the people around you, they kind of lift you up. They encourage you. They tell you this world is your playground, and explore it as much as you can. So if you have people around you who will always bring out the best in you, then why not take risks, shine, experiment just explore what you're good at. And I won't say it's very easy. I won't say balancing life, balancing job, balancing in business, keeping the team together. That's an easy job. But obviously, it has a lot to do with how you manage people, how you manage emotions, your own emotions, others' emotions, and how you bring the best of other people to work. So you need to acknowledge what's best in other people. You need to acknowledge what are your own weaknesses, how you can fill your own gaps with the best you find in the market, and then you move forward. So these are some of the factors which are very, very, very essential to build a good business, to build a good structure. So, but I don't have a fixed answer to your question.
That's fine. I think that's fine. As far as you tell them it's doable, and I'm okay with it. So following up on the question that I asked Shershah, you joined NICL even before you graduated, your formal graduation. Why did you take that decision, and what did NICL do for you to supplement or to add on to your knowledge already? Maydda?
So initially, when I joined NICL, I joined as a marketing manager for a startup who had been incubated here. So honestly speaking, मुझे पता भी नहीं था NICL क्या होता है, unless I came here. And when I came here, so I was surprised. Honestly, I did not know that there could be an organization who could जो facilitate कर सकते हैं small businesses को to an extent where उस वक्त I remember उस वक्त Makers Lab बन रही थी, and they were trying to import the 3D printer, और वो it was very initial stage. Now when I'm back here, I feel that I'm a more mature person, a more informed person, and so my degree at SOE taught me how to do research, how to bring in a research perspective in education. My learning in NICL taught me how to blend these 2 learnings, the research perspective and the entrepreneurial business perspective, and then create a product, then validate a product. And it's very interesting कि फिर हमें अपना research part तो पता होता है कि ठीक है this thing works with children, how it works with children, but how to build on it, how to cash on it, how to make a structure out of it, how to collaborate with other businesses or other startups to add value to your own startups. That is something that I learned from NICL, how to make connections, how to learn how to communicate, मुझे feel हो रहा था initially कि a lot of people talk about financials, but I think that is a skill. Yes, you should learn it, but building good, strong, healthy relationships with your co-founders and with the other co-founders is more important, because वहाँ आपकी learning start होती है.
Okay, thank you, Maydda. I'm going to ask you both a quick question. You can answer that, and then I would love to have you in a session later to answer student-led questions. So, Shershah, another question that students had here was about monetization. You've answered a part of it by telling how much you make, but is it such a long journey to start making money, and or even if not money, to scaling up to make your business take it to the market? Does it take so long as we think, or it can be a very, very rapid process?
There's no right or wrong answer for that. It took us 10 months to build our first product. It took us 1 month to build our second. So, that's what we have learned during our journey. As loose as the markets are currently in terms of investment, that period can be short-lived too. But at the end, it's about how you take the problem, how you plan on resolving it. Startups are, it is important for startups to be quick, to be fast, but, if you are making a sustainable business, it can take a good amount of time as well. And then again, it comes down to the industry you're operating in as well. So in terms of monetization, the value that founders initially extract, apart from all the network that you build, the experience that you're gaining, it's super exciting and all of that. Purely in terms of monetization, obviously you take a small chunk from as salary from your company once you have been funded. But compared to what I would be earning from an MNC, probably 5 times more, 6 times more. So if you are in it purely for the money, don't start a startup. It's easier for me probably to say, and I'm not a good example. Whenever I talk about this, I do give a disclaimer that yes, I come from a privileged background. When I did not earn anything for the first 1 year, I did not have issues at home, and so probably I'm not the best example. I'm amongst those privileged ones or lucky ones. But if you're purely in it for the money, I don't think things are going to work out that well for you or for your business, because that hampers your decision making. That hampers your ability to really scale and build a company or build a business that is going to be sustainable and that is going to last long. So in terms of what our plans are, hopefully inshallah soon, when we close the second round, I'll probably increase my pay.
So Shershah, jaldi se ye bhi bata do kitne ghante din mein kaam karte ho.
Monetization part will really come in.
I think answer a quick question for me. How many hours a day do you work? I think that's a very important.
I think it's somewhere between 12 to 16 hours. There's been time, and so when I started out, I was before.
Put me back on. This is like.
Seriously.
I mean, okay, carry on. Sorry.
I've done 16 hours a day as well. When I started out back in 20, I was doing full-time job too. So, I was managing both. I had to fund my startup. I had bootstrapped it. But I think it's equally important for all start founders to take their breaks as well. So, at least take Monday off, Sunday. It's good for your mental health. I think it's super important. I think you'll drain out too quickly. And that's not good as well. So
that's advice for you. That's advice for Saleem. So Maydda, I'm going to ask you the question about scaling again. I think you had a meeting here at NICL signing an MOU with a partner. So since you graduated and you've taken this training at NIC, how are things going for you and materializing in terms of your startup? Does it take too long if you have the right motivation?
Okay, just it depends on the opportunities that comes your way. So, when we were participating for the pitch, right? We were expecting, okay, iske baad to hame investment milegi, and we were so confident. Kaisa hoga? But then I realized we need to self-assess our place in this startup as well. Okay, we're just building up. We're just a baby startup right now. We need to take very mindful steps. We don't want to make the risky steps जिसकी वजह से हम scale up तो कर जाएं on paper या marketing के लिहाज से, but we're not able to sustain our model. So we pivoted a lot of times in terms of scalability. Right now, what I am thinking is if I take it a bit more slower and if I collaborate with other startups who can help me build a larger startup or a larger company, then that can help me sustain better. Because as Shershah said, financials पे इतना focus नहीं करें. Like even if we are signing an MOU, there we're dealing with a lot of other, like we're sharing profits, we're sharing expertise, we're sharing materials. So if I am the person who has the idea, they are the person who are working with the manufacturing. So it's like it's such a friendly partnership where it's such a win-win situation. So get involved with making. I would advise it's always a better idea to give and take. एक win-win situation create करें अपने startup के लिए भी, दूसरों के startups के लिए भी. वो sustainability में और scalability में दोनों में help करता है.
Right.
Maima, with your permission, if I might interject and just ask each of them just a final word of advice for their fellow students at LUMS, and then we're way over time with Dr. Al-Noor waiting to wrap up as well, and really get into the tangible things that students can take advantage of. So if you can just take a few minutes, Shershah and Maydda, would really appreciate that. Honestly, you could spend the whole day talking to you guys, but there are limitations.
Yeah. So Maydda, do you want to start?
Oh, I'll just start. Okay. So my key takeaways with the program at NICL were majorly based on obviously there was financial interactions, but the most the course I enjoyed was with Dr. Nan Zahid, the BMC course, and with Dr. Shahid Khan, not Dr. Shahid Khan, Sir Shahid Khan. He taught us how to indulge in crucial conversations, and that was a skill that I think I needed that skill a lot, because how to negotiate, how to put up your demands up front, how to accept others' demands. Uske alawa, I do feel the legal aspect of the whole program was very helpful, because as a citizen of Pakistan, we're generally not aware of a lot of legal aspects of normally anything, but a business point of view, say how careful you have to be and what kind of implications there are on your company or on your idea if you don't take careful steps, especially legally. अपने आप को protect कैसे करना है legally, reach out कैसे करना है. So those frameworks, those courses really helped me. They're still helping me actually. Shershah, if you want to continue.
Yeah, so in terms of the NICL program, I think a few important things are try to be as interactive as possible. Bug your mentors or the faculty member as much as you can, because these 4 months they're going to they're super busy people. I get a reply from my mentors after messaging them like 4 or 5 times. But I keep on messaging them still, and they've been of great help. Our board of advisors, we have, I think almost every one of them, they are faculty members at LUMS. So we are super lucky in terms of that. In terms of building your own startup, a key takeaway is that it is important to wear all hats. Yes, I have been the HR guy, the marketing guy, the sales guy, the finance guy, but you need to realize that you can never be the master of everything. If you don't know the legal side, don't try filing for anything with the CCP yourself. Hire a legal expert for that. If you have to file returns, get a tax person on board. And in terms of rolling out your product, I think give yourself 2 months. That's enough. from the day you get an idea to the day you get your first bucks in, I think 2 months. Build, use no-code applications. Don't spend too much time on building the proper model. Just make something that gets the thing done. Because it's so important to actually interact with the customers, with the right customers. If you discuss an idea with your friends, with your peers, that's not market validation. Market validation is when your product actually goes out and it interacts with the first 50 or 100 customers. And as I mentioned earlier, it took us 10 months to build the first product and just 1 month to build a second. So that's the kind
fantastic
of
words of advice, and thank you so much. Everyone, especially, I was remiss in thanking Saima initially. I'm so grateful for her partnership and the commitment that she brings to this program at NIC. Saima and I go back a long way. We were classmates at LUMS, and she's continued to give back to Pakistan, being a professor at a number of universities, including adjunct professorship at the School of Business at LUMS. So thank you for everything you do, Saima. We couldn't possibly do this without you, and your commitment is really inspirational for me. Thank you.
Most welcome, Saleem. Happy to be here and very motivated to do more.